Okay. Hey, friends, welcome back to Perfectly Imperfect Conversations. I'm so excited today because I get to talk with someone who really understands what it means to show up, even when life and business throw you curveballs. Damon Rourke is a husband, dad, entrepreneur, and leader who's built success by doing the small things consistently over time. He's a believer in personal growth, faith, and taking action even when it's messy. Damon, thank you for being here and for showing up as you always do.
Thank you for having me, Kathy.
So we're going to start. So this is what I'm wondering about. You know how it says starting strong, the heart of showing up? Do I say that?
Um,
Because then it asks the question afterwards, but it gives you the follow, the five questions, whatever, and it says one, starting strong, the heart of showing up. So is that just something I say, or is that something like I would put on the screen, like on
oh,
the
that's a good point. Yeah, I would
right?
put it on the screen.
Okay. So you talk a lot about consistency and doing the small things that compound over time. What does showing up look like for you when life isn't perfect?
I mean, as you do as well, we follow the slight edge philosophy, like doing the small, little, consistent things over a long period of time that seem to make no difference when you're doing them, but they just add up. And I think it's attitude, it's commitment, it's attitude, and for me, it's being aware of what my priorities actually are. Kind of like what we were talking about before we started recording, of um, like just priorities, like knowing how I want to spend my time. This is something I've been kind of developing over the last like 5, 6 years. Like knowing how I want to spend my time, what I want my life to look like, where I actually want to spend my time, so that when things do get messy or busy, and again, I was walking through my schedule just the few weeks, and then we get into the holidays. Like we have Thanksgiving in the U.S., then we get into Christmas, and then we get into New Year's, and then it's a brand new year. Like 2026 is here, but um, I think it's recognizing your priorities, then planning around those priorities. Um, Especially like during this season, I think when we're starting to go into the holiday season, I really start to think about what's important because my wife generally overschedules. Like I tell everybody, it's really funny in business. She looks at the calendar for the whole year. In social life, she looks at the calendar like you would think she just looks at a daily calendar and somebody's like, "Can you do it this day?" She says, "Yeah, no problem." She had us scheduled anyway. It's just we were in Florida for this trip. We went to a college football game, drove an hour to the beach, stayed at the beach at her mom's place Monday and Tuesday, drove an hour back to Disney, right? Went to Disney for the day, drove an hour back to the beach that night, stayed the night, stayed the next day, then drove the next day an hour back to the airport, flew home. We landed. My parents took the kids, thank God. She went out for a 40th birthday the night. No, I'm sorry. We landed, went to a concert, not even at our house. We didn't stay at our house in a week. We went to a concert, stayed in Fort Worth. We're in Dallas. So went to the concert that night, came home. She went out for a 40th birthday. I stayed at home. I was done. Came home after the 40th birthday and went to an all day Christian women's conference on Saturday. And then had plans for us to go to the Texas State Fair on Sunday. Now, this is a Friday to Sunday thing, right? Like Friday, the whole week. Um, I I don't even know where I'm going with this. Oh, I'm planning. Um, that's what I deal with. And so generally my response when somebody's like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" I just no. I want to be at home. Like I just I want to be at home. I love our house. But I do recognize like during the holiday season coming up, it's a great time to go see a lot of family. It's a great time to see friends. It's a great time to be social and keep those connections going. There's a lot of the bang is worth the buck, or the bang's worth the buck. Like to where you're going out and seeing a lot of people. And so for me, when I look at the holiday season, I don't treat it like it's some other season. Like it's not holiday season is not springtime, right? Like it's not summertime when there's a lot of family time. It is the holiday season. It's family. It's friends. It's about being together. And so mentally, I just prepare that because I plan it out and I know that's my priorities. And so when we do have a night at home, And I know it's something where I don't want to. If the choice is like catching up on Netflix or going to sleep because we're going out the next night, I'm going to go to sleep, right? So it might mean like a 9 o'clock bedtime. That's fine. Like it doesn't have to be a 10 or 11 o'clock bedtime all the time because we're sacrificing. Because guess what's not on my priorities? Netflix, right? Surfing social media, not on my priorities. But how many times have I let that creep in and it affects my other priorities? And so I think when things get busy, it's just taking a breath and realizing there's no place else I'd rather be, right? It's just there's no place else I'd rather be. This is where I'm meant to be right now. I carry a lot of energy around. I can impact a room. I can impact people. I think it's personally it's a gift that I think God gave me. It's like my energy influences people, and so I want it to influence them in a good way, not a bad way. So that means got to show up with a good attitude, which means you have to want to be there.
That makes sense. Absolutely. Okay. Can you think of a time when you wanted to quit, but staying consistent, even in small ways, changed everything?
I mean, I think at this point, I would have had a much different answer 10 years ago, but being in my 40s now, we've been married for 14 years. Um, I hope that's right. We've been married for 14 years. We've had the company for 14 years. We've been building the company for 15 years. We have three beautiful kids. I've never felt like I wanted to quit on my kids. Um, and so, but I have like I guess yeah. So I have felt like I wanted to quit on my kids before, and you just have to show up and keep being consistent. Um, I've never got to the point where I really want to quit on marriage, but we have disagreements, we have fights. Like it feels like a lot of times, but those little things that you do, like making sure you don't go to bed angry, just saying I'm sorry when I don't even know what I'm apologizing for, like those little things that you do, showing up for somebody else, and then of course business. I think business is the easiest one to point to. Of I've wanted to quit. I mean, there was a time I wanted to quit. I think I thought about it at least once a week, if not every day. And then you just choose not to, right? Like, again, I think you go back to priorities. Like, I go back to my priorities because I have quit stuff. Like, I quit CrossFit. I quit jujitsu. I quit, I don't know, mainly just a bunch of workout stuff. Um, but I think when you look at it and you look at that quitting point, there's a good quote that's never quit on a bad day. And so I
Mhm.
can't say that once I learned that quote, in personal development, that I really I haven't quit anything on a bad day in a long time.
I'm writing that down. That is perfect. Never quit on a bad day, right? Yeah. Okay. You've led teams, built businesses, and raised a family. How do you stay grounded when everything feels like too much?
Again, my answer would have been different even probably 2 years ago. But for me, it really is it's first of all priorities, right? Realizing what I'm sacrificing for, why I'm doing this. So having priorities, having goals, and then for me, it's faith. It's like, what's all this about? Like, I'm a Christian. My faith has grown tremendously over the last 5 years. But you know, um, if Jesus is the ultimate ending, right? Then what we're doing right now matters, but it doesn't matter as much as what's coming in the future. I think having something that's bigger than yourself, having a goal that's bigger than yourself, having a vision that's bigger than yourself, being a part of something that's bigger than yourself, um, really helps really helps keep that in perspective. And then, you know, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, like you're talking about surviving cancer, and I'm talking about an ear infection. Um, when you really put it in perspective, like my kids are healthy, my wife is healthy, I'm healthy. We both have both sets of parents, right? My grandpa is my. I still have a grandparent that's alive. My sister's healthy; she's happily married. Um, I think when you realize what's going on in the world, we've been blessed to travel around the world. Like I've been blessed to travel around the world, and I see how good we have. Like we just have it in Dallas, Texas. Like I know how good we have it, and so there's very little for me to complain about when you're anchored in my family's healthy. my wife is healthy, I'm healthy. Like we can do things, right? And so I just think I think staying grounded in reality. I don't know how many people, Kathy, we've seen not stay grounded in reality, and they spin out of control. You're like, what? Or you just lost everything for no reason, right? And so I think staying grounded in who you want to be, like the legacy that you want to leave, and how I want my kids to remember me, how I want people to think about me, how I want to think about myself, is it really does help me stay grounded.
That was really good. Okay, I know your family means everything to you. What's one thing you've learned about showing up for them and yourself?
Um, Even when I don't want to do it, I know I'll feel better and look back and be happier when I do it. Like thinking about the end result of putting my foot, like my kids, you know, kids spell love Time.
Hmm.
And so that time that I can give them uninterrupted, not being on my phone, not being distracted, and really trying to listen to whatever dumb story they're telling me, right? It makes such a difference. It makes such a difference. Yeah, you can wear costumes. Um, but they really do spell it Time. And so I think thinking about the end result. So no matter how tired I am, no matter how frustrated I am, I think about the end result. And I just we have a 9-year-old, 7-year-old, a 4-year-old. The 9-year-old really puts in perspective how little time we have with a 4-year-old, right? And how much time I probably missed with the 9-year-old. Like the first 3 or 4 years of her life, I was gone a lot. Like I was probably on the road 60, 70% of the time, which is a lot for a kid. She doesn't remember. I'm going to remember. Um, and I don't regret anything. I think it gives me a good perspective on the future. And so um, showing up for them means just being where I'm at, like really being intentional with where I'm at, what I'm doing. And again, going back to those priorities, like what's important is making sure I didn't miss a message on Instagram within that 2 hours that they're going to be awake important, or to spend those 2 hours with them.
Hmm. Okay. And last, if someone watching this feels stuck, tired, or like they failed one too many times, what would you tell them?
Well, I think it has to. You can force gratitude on yourself. Um, you're listening to this. You have ears, right? You're listening to this. You have an internet connection. You're listening to this. You have electricity. You're listening to this and able to focus on it. You don't have pain that is forcing you not to be able to hear it. Um, I mean, there's so many things that we can just infer from them just listening to it, right? You're not so hungry that you can actually hear. You're fed, right? You might not know where your next meal is going to come from, but right now you're where you're at with electricity, with internet, with a full belly, and pain free,
Yeah.
right? Relatively pain free in the moment. Um, and so I would say just keep going. Focus on what you can actually do next. Um, I think one thing, especially people that probably plug into a podcast like this, that listen to personal development, um, that think they've failed too many times, want change, right? They want some kind of growth. They want some kind of change. It never comes fast enough. Like it never happens as fast as you want it to happen. It never happens as fast as you think it should happen. It will happen. You just have to keep going and have faith that it's going to happen. And that's really where you see the coffee cups and the T-shirts that say "Love the journey," like really experience the journey. It's true. Like you have to fall in love with the grind. You have to fall in love with the journey. You have to fall in love because that's the real growth. Because I guarantee, if you have an attitude like that, I'm not saying it's a bad attitude. I have the same attitude. You just have to have it in perspective of falling in love with the actual process of life, like falling in love with life every single day. Because wherever you think you want to go and wherever you think, like I think the question also comes from like, here's this end goal, right? Here's where I think I want to be. I guarantee you, when you're where you think you want to be, you're going to be thinking you should be someplace else, right? And so try and enjoy the moment, enjoy the journey, and recognize that you're not you're not supposed to be anywhere else. You're not supposed to be where you think you should be. You're not supposed to be where you ought to be or where somebody else is. You're exactly where you're at the exact right time, and it's just a part of your own journey.
Well, that's exactly why I wanted to have this conversation because it's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Damon, thank you for sharing your story and reminding us that strength is built one small step at a time. And to everyone watching, keep showing up even when it's messy. You're proof that it's worth it.
Great close, Kathy. That was really natural. Stop the
Hey,
recording.
that was pretty good, hey?
Yeah, stop the recording.
Oh, yeah. I was like, just keep going. Where's my record thing? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Uh,
Oh,
top right.
found it.